When a Korean mafia boss spots his signature birthmark on a little girl's forehead in a crowded Seoul market, he discovers the daughter he's been desperately searching for over 5 years. But their tearful reunion triggers a deadly countdown as his ruthless rival threatens to destroy the family he just found, forcing him to choose between his criminal empire and the lives of the woman he never stopped loving and the child he never knew. Before we dive into this emotional roller coaster, do me a huge favor, smash that subscribe button, hit the like icon, and drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching this from. Are you Team Junho, or do you think Jenny should run? Let me know. Now, let's get into the story. 3 days earlier, Jenny had convinced herself they were safe. The crowded Dongdaemun market seemed like the perfect place to disappear, surrounded by hundreds of shoppers haggling over clothes and street food. Nana skipped beside her, clutching a small stuffed rabbit Jenny had bought her with their last few bills. "Mommy, can we get tteokbokki?" Nana asked, her eyes bright with hope. Jenny forced a smile. "Maybe next time, baby. You always say next time." "I know, sweetheart. I'm sorry." There, 20 meters away, a man in a perfectly tailored black suit stood motionless in the sea of moving bodies, his eyes locked directly on them. "Nana, come here. Now." Jenny's voice had an edge that made Nana obey instantly. But it was too late. The man was already moving toward them, cutting through the crowd with practiced ease. People seemed to part for him instinctively, as if they could sense the danger he carried. Jenny grabbed Nana and started walking in the opposite direction, her pace quick but not quite running. Running would draw attention. Running would confirm she had something to hide. "Jenny." The voice stopped her cold. Deep. Calm. Familiar in a way that made her bones ache. She turned slowly, positioning herself between Nana and the man who now stood less than 3 meters away. Up close, he looked exactly as she remembered, sharp jawline, dark eyes that could read souls, and that same dangerous grace he'd always carried. Junho. The man who'd promised her the world and then disappeared into smoke. His gaze dropped to Nana, who peeked out from behind Jenny's legs. The moment he saw the birthmark on her forehead, something shifted in his expression. Not surprise. Recognition. "That mark," Junho said softly, his voice barely audible over the market noise. "She's mine." Jenny's face went pale. Her hands instinctively tightened on Nana's shoulders. "You need to leave. Now. We need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about." Junho took a step closer. Jenny took a step back, pulling Nana with her. Several passers-by glanced their way, sensing the tension crackling between them. "Please," Junho said, and there was something in that single word that made Jenny pause. Not a command. Not a threat. A request. 5 minutes. "That's all I'm asking." "Mommy, who is he?" Nana whispered. Jenny's mind raced. She could run. She could scream. She could create a scene and disappear in the chaos. But Junho had found them once. He would find them again. And next time, he might not come alone. 5 minutes, she said, her voice like ice. "The cafe across the street. You walk ahead of us. If I see anyone else, we disappear and you'll never find us again." Junho nodded slowly. Agreed. He turned and walked toward the cafe, his hands visible at his sides. Jenny waited, counting to 30, scanning the crowd for backup. When she was satisfied he'd come alone, she took Nana's hand and followed. The cafe was small and half-empty, tucked between a cosmetics shop and a tailor. Junho sat at a corner table, his back to the wall, his eyes tracking every entrance. Old habits. Jenny sat across from him, positioning Nana on her lap, creating a barrier between the child and this man who claimed fatherhood. For a long moment, no one spoke. Junho stared at Nana with an intensity that made Jenny want to flee. Then his gaze lifted to meet hers. "I kept my promise," he said. Jenny laughed, a harsh, broken sound. "Your promise? You abandoned us. You disappeared without a word, without a trace. I was 3 months pregnant, Junho. 3 months. And you just vanished. I didn't abandon you. Then what do you call it?" "I call it trying to keep you alive." The words hung in the air between them like a blade. Jenny's anger flickered, confusion bleeding through. "What are you talking about?" Junho leaned forward, his voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "The night I left, I received a call. Park Minasio's crew had discovered you were pregnant. They had photos, Jenny. Photos of you at the clinic. They knew exactly how to hurt me. Park Minacio. Even the name made Jenny's blood run cold. The rival gang leader who'd been trying to destroy Junho's organization for years. They gave me a choice, Junho continued. Step down and let them take over, or watch them kill you and the baby. So I made a plan. I told my most trusted men to take you somewhere safe, somewhere even I wouldn't know. That way, if they tortured me, if they broke me, I couldn't give you up even if I wanted to. Jenny shook her head. That doesn't make sense. If you arranged it, why didn't you come back? Why didn't you? Because they betrayed me. Junho's jaw clenched, rage flickering behind his eyes. One of my own men sold us out. They found you anyway. They took you from the safe house, and I had no idea where you were. I've been searching for 5 years, Jenny. 5 years of chasing ghosts and dead ends. And now I find you here, with our daughter, and you think I abandoned you. Jenny felt the foundation of her anger cracking. She'd built her hatred for Junho on the certainty that he'd chosen his empire over his family. But if he was telling the truth? I don't believe you, she said, but her voice lacked conviction. You don't have to believe me. But look at this. Junho pulled out his phone and slid it across the table. On the screen was a photo dated 5 years ago, Jenny, visibly pregnant, standing outside a small house in the countryside. This was the safe house. 3 days after this photo was taken, you disappeared. I tore Korea apart looking for you. Jenny stared at the photo, memories flooding back. She remembered that house. She remembered the men in suits who'd told her Junho had arranged everything, that he was coming for her soon. And then, one night, different men had arrived. Men with cold eyes and cruel smiles. They drugged her, and when she woke up, she was in a basement somewhere far away. They kept me locked up for 2 months, Jenny whispered. They said if I tried to contact you, they'd kill the baby. When Nana was born, they let me go but warned me to stay hidden. I've been running ever since. This story is getting crazy, right? Drop a comment below and let me know what you think Junho should do next. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button now. Junho's hands clenched into fists on the table. Who are they? Did you see faces? Names? I never saw their faces clearly. They wore masks. But I heard a name once. Suk. The color drained from Junho's face. Suk. You know him? He's my right-hand man. Has been for 7 years. The implications crashed over both of them like a wave. If Suk had betrayed Junho, if he'd been working with Park Minacio all along, then everything made terrible sense. The precision of the attack. The knowledge of the safe house. The years of false leads that had kept Junho chasing shadows. Mommy, I'm scared, Nana whispered. Jenny pulled her daughter closer. It's okay, baby. Everything's. Her phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. She opened it and felt the world tilt. We know you met him. If you want your daughter alive, meet us at midnight. Alone. We'll send the address. ***. Below the text was a photo of Jenny and Junho sitting in this very cafe, taken from across the street moments ago. Junho saw her expression change. What is it? Jenny turned the phone so he could see. His face hardened into something cold and lethal, the mask of the Mafia boss sliding into place. They're watching us right now, he said calmly. Don't look around. Don't react. Just stand up slowly and walk out with me. We need to move. I'm not going anywhere with you. Jenny, listen to me. Park Minacio doesn't make empty threats. If he says he'll kill Nana, he will. Your only chance is to trust me. Just for tonight. After that, if you want to disappear again, I won't stop you. Jenny looked down at Nana's face, at the birthmark that matched the one Junho had on his own shoulder, hidden beneath his suit. She thought about 5 years of running, of being alone, of trying to protect their daughter with nothing but fear and desperation. Okay, she said. But if you're lying to me, if this is some kind of trap, I swear I'll. I know. Junho stood, his hand instinctively moving to the small of his back where Jenny knew he kept his gun. Follow my lead. They walked out of the cafe together, Junho's eyes scanning every face, every shadow. A black Mercedes pulled up to the curb as if summoned. The driver's door opened and a young man stepped out, bowing slightly to Junho. Sir, we have movement on the east perimeter. 3 vehicles. Park's signature. Get them to the safe house. Route 7. Lose anyone following. The young man nodded and opened the back door. Jenny hesitated, every instinct screaming at her not to get in that car. But then Nana tugged on her sleeve. "Mommy, is that man my daddy?" The question hung in the air. Jenny looked at Junho, really looked at him, and saw the same expression on his face that she'd seen 5 years ago when he'd promised to love her forever. Pain. Hope. Fear. "Yes, baby," Jenny heard herself say. "He's your daddy." Nana turned to Junho with wide eyes. "Are you going to stay with us this time?" Junho knelt down, bringing himself to Nana's eye level. Up close, the resemblance was unmistakable. Same dark eyes. Same stubborn chin. And that birthmark identical to his own. "I'm going to try," he said quietly. "But first, I need to make sure you're safe. Can you help me do that?" Nana nodded seriously. Junho smiled, a real smile, not the cold mask he showed the world, and gently touched her cheek. "You're so brave. Just like your mother." They got into the car. As it pulled away from the curb, Jenny looked back and saw a man in a dark jacket lowering a camera from across the street. The watchers. They were everywhere. The drive took 40 minutes, winding through Seoul's streets in a pattern clearly designed to lose any tail. Jenny held Nana close, feeling the girl's heartbeat against her chest. Junho sat across from them, his phone pressed to his ear, giving quiet orders in Korean too quick for Jenny to fully follow. When they finally stopped, they were in front of a modest building in a residential neighborhood. Not the mansion Jenny had expected. No guards visible. No obvious security. "This is one of my personal properties," Junho explained as they got out. "Only 3 people know about it, and after tonight, that number will be down to 2. "Suk," Jenny said. "Suk," Junho confirmed, his voice like winter. Inside, the apartment was surprisingly warm. Comfortable furniture. Books on shelves. Photos on the wall, and Jenny's breath caught when she recognized herself in one of them. A candid shot from 6 years ago, laughing at something off camera. She hadn't known he'd kept it. "There's a bedroom down the hall," Junho said. "You and Nana should rest. I need to make some arrangements." "What kind of arrangements?" "The kind that will end this. Tonight." Jenny grabbed his arm. "Junho, if you're planning what I think you're planning, they threatened my daughter, Jenny. Our daughter. There's no negotiation. There's no mercy. There's just making sure they never have the chance to hurt her again." The cold certainty in his voice should have frightened her. Instead, for the first time in 5 years, Jenny felt safe. Nana had fallen asleep on the couch, curled up with her stuffed rabbit. Jenny covered her with a blanket, then found Junho standing by the window, staring out at the Seoul skyline. He'd removed his jacket, and she could see the tension in his shoulders, the weight of 5 years pressing down on him. "What's the plan?" she asked quietly. "They want you at midnight. I'm going to give them what they want. You can't seriously expect me to walk into that trap." Junho turned to face her. "Not you. Me. I'll go in your place. They want leverage over me. They'll get their meeting. But on my terms. That's suicide. That's strategy." He moved to the dining table where he'd spread out blueprints and photographs. "Park Min-seo has been trying to take over my territory for years. He thinks he's won because he has information about Nana. But he made one critical mistake." "What's that?" "He let me know that Suk betrayed me. And Suk knows things Park doesn't, including the location of every safe house, every weapons cache, every loyal soldier in my organization. If Suk is working with Park, I need to assume everything is compromised." Jenny looked at the photographs spread across the table. Men in suits. Building layouts. What looked like surveillance footage. "So, what do you do?" "I burn it all down and start over." Junho's finger traced a route on one of the blueprints. "But first, I need to know exactly what we're dealing with." The text said they'd send an address. "When they do, I'll know their position." As if on cue, Jenny's phone buzzed. The address appeared, an abandoned warehouse in Incheon, near the docks. Junho pulled up satellite imagery within seconds. "Smart," he murmured. "Multiple exits. Close to water for disposal. Far enough from the city that no one will hear anything." He looked up at Jenny. "They're planning to kill whoever shows up. They're done playing games. Then we go to the police." Junho laughed, but there was no humor in it. "The police?" "Jenny, half the precinct is on Park's payroll. The other half is on mine. There is no neutral ground here. There's only survival. Jenny sank into a chair, the reality of their situation crushing down on her. She'd spent 5 years convinced she was protecting Nana by running. But she'd just been delaying the inevitable. Men like Park Min-seo didn't forget. They didn't forgive. They collected debts and paid them back in blood. I'm sorry, Junho said suddenly. For all of this. For the life I brought you into. For not being strong enough to protect you from it. You didn't bring me into anything. I chose you. I knew what you were. You knew what I showed you. The nice restaurants. The expensive gifts. The protection. You didn't know about the bodies in the river. The families destroyed. The empire built on fear. I'm not naive, Junho. I knew there was darkness. I just thought, she trailed off, not sure how to finish. You thought love would be enough to overcome it, he said quietly. So did I. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of lost years hanging between them. Then Junho's phone rang. He answered it, listened for 30 seconds, and his expression went completely cold. Understood. 30 minutes. Come alone. He ended the call and looked at Jenny. That was Suk. What did he want? To meet. He says he has information about Park's plans for tonight. He wants to help. It's obviously a trap. Obviously. Junho checked his gun, chambered around. But it's also an opportunity. Suk doesn't know that I know he betrayed me. If I play this right, I can use him to get to Park. And if you play it wrong, then you take Nana and run. There's money in the safe behind the bookshelf. Passports. New identities. Everything you need to disappear for good. Jenny stood up, moved closer to him. I'm tired of running. Then what do you want to do? I want to fight. I want to end this. I want Nana to grow up without looking over her shoulder every day. Junho studied her face, seeing the woman he'd fallen in love with beneath the exhaustion and fear. If we do this, if we really commit to ending it tonight, there's no going back. People will die. Some of them might be people we know. People we care about. I stopped caring about anyone but my daughter 5 years ago. That's not true. Junho reached out, his fingers brushing against her cheek. You care about her having a father. Otherwise, you wouldn't have told her who I was. Jenny's breath caught. Don't read into that. I was just being honest. For the first time in years, you let yourself hope that maybe things could be different. That maybe we could be a family. Junho. I'm going to meet Suk. When I'm done, I'm going to that warehouse. And I'm going to kill every single person who threatened our daughter. Then, if I survive, I'm going to ask you to let me be part of her life. Part of your life. And you can say no. You can take the money and run, and I'll never look for you again. But I need you to know that I never stopped loving you. Not for 1 second of these 5 years. Before Jenny could respond, Junho grabbed his jacket and walked out the door. The meeting place Suk had chosen was a pojangmaka, a traditional tent bar in an older part of the city. The kind of place where working men drank soju and complained about their bosses, where business deals were made over grilled pork and kimchi. Junho arrived exactly on time, scanning the area for threats before stepping inside. Suk sat in the back corner, a bottle of soju already half empty in front of him. He looked older than Junho remembered. Tired. When he saw Junho, something flickered across his face. Guilt? Fear? It was gone too quickly to tell. Boss, Suk said, standing and bowing slightly. Thank you for coming. Junho sat down across from him, his expression neutral. You said you had information. Park Min-seo is making his move tonight. The warehouse in Incheon, it's a setup. He's got 20 men there. Maybe more. He's planning to take out anyone connected to you. Why are you telling me this? Suk poured 2 shots of soju, his hands shaking slightly. Because I made a mistake. A long time ago, I thought Park was going to win. I thought aligning with him was the smart play. But I was wrong. He's not interested in business. He's interested in destruction. And now he's threatening my family. Junho picked up the shot glass, but didn't drink. Your family. Not mine. I didn't know about the girl. I swear, boss. When Park told me about Jenny being pregnant, I thought he was lying. I thought it was just another manipulation tactic. But you helped him anyway. Suk's silence was answer enough. Junho set down the shot glass. Here's what I think happened. I think Park approached you 7 years ago with a deal. Information in exchange for protection. You fed him intelligence about my operations, my weaknesses, my relationships. When Jenny got pregnant, You saw an opportunity. Get rid of her, eliminate my weakness, and secure your position with Park. Boss, please. But you underestimated Park. You thought he'd use Jenny as leverage for a while and then let her go. Instead, he kept her hidden for months, then released her but kept watching. Why? Because he knew eventually she'd lead him back to me. And tonight, 5 years later, his patience is finally paying off. Suk's face had gone pale. How long have you known? About an hour. But I suspected for years. Junho leaned forward. You were always too convenient, Suk. Too loyal. Too perfect. Real loyalty has flaws. It questions. It pushes back. You just agreed with everything, anticipated everything. Because you were reporting everything. What are you going to do? That depends. Is your family really in danger? Suk nodded, tears forming in his eyes. Park sent me a photo this morning. My wife and daughter at the market. He said if I didn't bring you to the warehouse tonight, he'd kill them both. Junho believed him. Park Minasio's cruelty was legendary. He'd burn down an entire city block to kill one man. Threatening a family was nothing. Where are they now? Safe house. One of Park's men is watching them. Call him. Tell him Park wants them moved to the warehouse. Tell him you're bringing me there and Park wants the family there to watch. Boss, if I do that. If you do that, I have a chance to save them. And maybe, just maybe, I'll let you live long enough to see them again. Suk made the call, his voice shaking as he relayed Junho's instructions. When he hung up, he looked at Junho with desperate eyes. Why are you helping me? After everything I've done. I'm not helping you. I'm helping your wife and daughter. They didn't betray me. They're innocent. Junho stood up. And because I know what it's like to have your family threatened. To feel completely powerless. To make terrible choices because you think it's the only way to protect the people you love. He dropped money on the table for the soju they hadn't drunk and walked out. Back at the apartment, Jenny was pacing when Junho returned. Nana was still asleep, her small face peaceful in a way that made Junho's chest ache. What happened? Jenny asked. Suk confirmed it's a trap. 20 men, maybe more. But I have a plan. Which is? I'm going to give Park exactly what he wants. A confrontation. But not at the warehouse. Somewhere public. Somewhere he can't just execute everyone and dump the bodies in the harbor. Jenny shook her head. That's insane. He won't agree to that. He will if he thinks he's already won. Junho pulled out his phone and made a call. Mr. Park. This is Junho. I got your message. I'm ready to discuss terms. No, not the warehouse. Too obvious. I propose a neutral location. The Grand Hyatt lobby. Public. Cameras. No one gets hurt unnecessarily. Because I'm bringing my daughter and I want her to see that her father is a man of honor, not a coward. Midnight. I'll be there. He ended the call and looked at Jenny's horrified expression. You're bringing Nana? Have you lost your mind? I'm not bringing her. But Park doesn't know that. He thinks I'm desperate enough to parade my daughter in front of him. His ego won't let him refuse the chance to humiliate me publicly. And when he realizes you've lied, by then it won't matter. Junho moved to the safe behind the bookshelf, entering the combination and pulling out several items. Cash, passports, and a small black box. He opened it to reveal a USB drive. This contains every piece of evidence I've collected on Park Minacio over the past decade. Murders, bribes, connections to government officials. Everything. If anything happens to me tonight, this goes to every news organization in Korea. That's your insurance policy? No, you are. He handed her the drive. If I don't call you by 1 a.m., you send this to the contacts listed in the folder labeled Scorched Earth. Then you take Nana and run. Jenny took the drive with trembling hands. There has to be another way. There isn't. Park won't stop until I'm dead or he is. And I'm not willing to spend the rest of my life waiting for him to decide which one it'll be. The hotel lobby glittered with crystal and marble, a stark contrast to the darkness gathering outside. Junho arrived at 11:45, flanked by 2 men Jenny didn't recognize. He'd changed into a fresh suit, and if Jenny hadn't known better, she would have thought he was just another businessman arriving for a late meeting. Park Minacio was already there, sitting in a leather chair near the fountain, surrounded by his own guards. He was younger than Jenny had expected, maybe early 40s, with the kind of handsome face that probably charmed politicians and terrified enemies in equal measure. Junho approached alone, leaving his men by the entrance. Park smiled as he sat down across from him. "No daughter?" Park asked mockingly. "She's safe, which is more than I can say for yours." Park's smile vanished. "What are you talking about?" "Your daughter. Minji, isn't it? 12 years old. Studies at Seoul International School. Takes piano lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you touch her, I won't have to. Because we're going to make a deal. Tonight. Right here. And then we're both going to walk away and never speak of this again." Park studied Junho's face, trying to read the play. "What kind of deal?" "You leave Jenny and my daughter alone. Forever. In exchange, I leave your family alone. And we divide Seoul down the middle. You take the north. I take the south. No interference. No encroachment. Peace. You expect me to believe you'd give up half your empire? I expect you to believe I'd give up everything for my daughter. Because that's the truth. I don't care about the business anymore, Park. I care about her growing up alive." For a long moment, Park said nothing. Then he laughed. "You're serious." The great Junho, willing to surrender. "I should kill you just for the insult." "You could try. But you'd die too." "And then what happens to Minji? Who protects her from all the enemies you've made? Who makes sure she gets to grow up and take those piano lessons?" Park's jaw clenched. Junho had hit the nerve he'd been aiming for. "There's a third option," Park said slowly. "We merge our organizations. Work together instead of against each other. With your network and mine combined, we could control all of Korea." "No. Think about it, Junho. Real power. Real security. Your daughter would never have to worry. My daughter will never be part of this life." Junho stood up. "You have until tomorrow morning to decide. Peace or war. Choose wisely." He walked away, leaving Park sitting there, rage and calculation warring on his face. Outside, Junho's men were waiting. "It's done. It started. Now we wait." But they didn't have to wait long. Junho's phone rang at 12:15. An unknown number. "Mr. Junho, this is Officer Kim from Seoul Metropolitan Police. We've received a report about a disturbance at your Gangnam office. You need to come down to the station." Junho's blood ran cold. "What kind of disturbance?" "I'm not at liberty to discuss it over the phone. Please come to the Gangnam station as soon as possible." It was a trap. It had to be. But what if it wasn't? What if Park had made a move against one of his legitimate businesses, trying to tie him up in legal problems while he went after Jenny and Nana? Junho made a decision. "Get to the apartment. Now. Full security protocol. No one gets in or out until I give the all clear." Then he headed to the police station, every instinct screaming that he was making a mistake. Jenny saw the black cars pull up outside and knew something was wrong. She grabbed Nana, who'd woken up crying from a nightmare, and moved to the back bedroom. Her phone was in her hand, Junho's number ready to dial, when she heard the front door explode inward. Men poured in, not Park's men. Not Junho's men. Police uniforms. But Jenny had learned long ago that uniforms didn't mean safety. "Jenny Park," one of them called out. "We have a warrant for your arrest. Come out with your hands up." "What's the charge?" Jenny called back, clutching Nana. "Kidnapping. Junho has filed a report claiming you abducted his daughter 5 years ago." The betrayal hit Jenny like a physical blow. Junho had set her up. All of it, the emotional reunion, the promises, the plan had been a lie to get her to bring Nana out of hiding. But then her phone buzzed. A text from Junho, "It's not me. Get out. Now." Window. Jenny looked at the bedroom window. 3 stories up. No fire escape. But there was a ledge, and beyond that, the building next door was close enough to jump to if she was desperate enough. She was desperate enough. "Mommy, what's happening?" Nana whispered. "We're going on an adventure, baby. But you have to be very, very brave. Can you do that?" Nana nodded, her eyes wide but trusting. Jenny opened the window, climbed out onto the ledge, and pulled Nana after her. The night air was cold, the ledge barely wide enough for her feet. Below, the street yawned like a mouth waiting to swallow them. "Hold on to me. Don't look down. Don't let go." They inched along the ledge toward the next building. Jenny's arms burned from holding Nana. Her legs trembled. One slip, and they'd both fall. But behind them, she could hear the police breaking down the bedroom door. The gap between buildings was wider than it had looked from inside. Maybe 2 meters. Maybe more. Jenny would have to jump, with Nana in her arms, and hope they made it. On 3, she whispered. 1, 2, 3. She launched herself across the gap. For a moment, they were flying, suspended between buildings, between death and survival. Then her feet hit the opposite ledge, and she was scrambling for purchase, Nana's weight pulling her backward. Her fingers found a windowsill. She hauled them both up and through an open window into someone's dark apartment. An elderly woman sat watching television, her mouth falling open in shock as Jenny and Nana tumbled onto her living room floor. "I'm sorry," Jenny gasped. "Please don't scream. We're not going to hurt you." The woman just stared at them, frozen. Jenny grabbed Nana's hand and ran for the apartment door, bursting into the hallway and down the stairs. Behind her, she could hear shouting, footsteps pounding. They burst out onto the street, and Jenny looked around wildly for somewhere to hide, somewhere to run. A car screeched to a stop beside them. The door flew open. "Get in," Sook shouted from the driver's seat. Jenny hesitated for one fatal second. Then the fake police burst out of the building behind her, and she had no choice. She threw Nana into the car and dove in after her. Sook floored it, tires screaming as they shot into Seoul's nighttime traffic. "Where's Junho?" Jenny demanded. "Police station." It was all a setup. Park has men there waiting to kill him the moment he arrives. "We have to warn him." "Already done. I sent him the address of where we're going. A real safe house. One Park doesn't know about." Jenny looked at this man who'd betrayed them, who'd helped destroy their lives, and saw genuine fear in his eyes. "Why are you helping us?" "Because Junho saved my family. An hour ago, his men raided Park's safe house and got my wife and daughter out. He didn't have to do that. He could have let them die. But he didn't. So now I'm paying that debt." They drove in silence through Seoul's glittering streets, leaving the chaos behind. Jenny held Nana close, feeling the little girl's heart beating against her chest like a bird's wings. "Is Daddy coming?" Nana whispered. "Yes, baby. He's coming." And Jenny realized she believed it. Junho would come. He would find them. Because that's what fathers did. That's what he'd been trying to do for 5 years. By the time Junho arrived at the safe house, a penthouse apartment in a building Sook's cousin owned, it was nearly 2 a.m. His suit was torn, his face bruised, but he was alive. When he walked through the door and saw Jenny and Nana safe on the couch, something in his expression shattered and reformed. "You're okay," he breathed. "Thank God, you're okay." Nana jumped up and ran to him. "Daddy." "We jumped between buildings. It was scary, but Mommy said to be brave." Junho scooped her up, holding her like he'd never let go. Over her head, his eyes met Jenny's. "It's over," he said. "Park's dead. His organization is scattered. The police who were working for him are in custody. It's really over." Jenny stood up slowly. "What happened?" "Park tried to ambush me at the station. But I had friends there. Real friends. Officers who actually care about the law. There was a shootout. Park didn't make it. Neither did most of his inner circle. And the rest. Running. Hiding. Without leadership, they're nothing. It'll take time to clean up all the pieces, but the threat to you and Nana is gone." He set Nana down gently and approached Jenny. "I know I promised you could walk away after this. I know I said I'd never look for you again if that's what you wanted. But I'm asking you to stay. Not in this life. Not in the darkness. But with me. Let me be a father to her. Let me try to be what you both deserve." Jenny looked at this man who'd fought a war for them, who'd sacrificed his empire to keep them safe, who'd kept searching for 5 years when anyone else would have given up. "I can't trust you yet," she said honestly. "Too much has happened. Too many years apart. I need time." "I understand." But Jenny continued and saw hope flicker in his eyes. "Nana deserves to know her father. And maybe, with time, we can figure out what we are to each other." Junho smiled, that real smile she'd fallen in love with years ago. "Time. I can work with time." Nana tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy, are you going to stay with us now?" Junho knelt down again, looking into his daughter's eyes. "Yes, sweetheart. I'm going to stay. I promise. Forever. Forever." And watching them together, Jenny felt something she hadn't felt in 5 years. Not quite trust. Not quite love. But hope. The possibility that maybe, just maybe, they could build something real from the ashes of what they'd lost. Outside, Seoul glittered under the night sky. A city of millions of stories, millions of secrets. But inside this safe house, for the first time in too long, one small family had found peace. 3 months later, Jenny stood in the kitchen of a real house, not an apartment, not a hiding place, but an actual home with a yard and a garden, watching Junho teach Nana how to ride a bicycle. He was patient, encouraging, everything a father should be. True to his word, he'd stepped back from the organization, leaving it in the hands of trusted people while he focused on being present. They weren't a perfect family. Jenny still had nightmares. Junho still carried the weight of his past. But they were trying. And maybe that was enough. "Mommy, look. I'm doing it," Nana shouted, pedaling shakily across the grass. Jenny waved, smiling. Junho caught her eye and smiled back, and in that moment, she felt it. Not just hope anymore, but something stronger. Something that felt like coming home. They had a long road ahead. Trust to rebuild. Wounds to heal. But for the first time in 5 years, Jenny wasn't running. She was standing still, watching her daughter laugh, and letting herself believe that maybe, just maybe, they would all be okay. If you made it this far, wow. Thanks for sticking with this crazy story. Make sure you like this video and drop a comment telling me what you thought. Should I make more stories like this? Let me know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the family. See you in the next one.